Individualize. Good instructors individualize. Each individual learns differently, obviously, and approaches the learning experience with varied competence. Each person is a unique and special human being, and they bring to that learning experience the sum total of their life. Thus, we need to approach each person differently. Consider, what motivates the individual? Why would they be willing to engage in that task? Is it for the sheer enjoyment of that task? Is it because they like being around you and they enjoy the fact that you celebrate the things that they do? Do they enjoy being around other people when they're doing that task? Do they enjoy the task because of what it accomplishes afterwards? You may not particularly enjoy washing or waxing your car. It's, very difficult work. But you enjoy the fact that many people come over to you afterwards and say, "Did you get a new car?" Even though it's 10 years old, right? Because you spent so much time detailing it, you have a great deal of pride in it. What motivates the individual? We need to ask ourselves about the person's attention span. Some people may only realistically be able to stay on task for 5 or 10 minutes, and then we have to alternate task and go on some kind of break or engage in some activity that is more preferred on their behalf. Some people can engage in tasks longer. We're always striving, though, to increase that person's attention span. Longer, right? What are the likely distractors? And we talked about them. What about that person's rate of learning? How quickly do they learn tasks? Do they require lots and lots of trials to criterion? Trials to criterion means how many times do they need to exercise that task? How many times do they need to practice it before they learn it? You and I are probably pretty fast learners. Somebody can show us something, most things you may pick up on it after a couple attempts. Sometimes we learn things just vicariously. We just see somebody do it, and no one even taught us how to do it, and we figure out how to do it ourselves. For many of the people who we support, they may need many, many trials in order to learn the task. And pace is important. Determine the pace to teach task effectively. It is imperative. A fast and interesting pace tends to facilitate learning. One of the things that I encourage whenever I'm coaching on site, and I have people involved in the task, I really like the task to go. Go, 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 go. I literally go like this. Keep it moving. It's very interesting. When the thing starts going real down low, we lose the person. We lose him. Keep that level of engagement up. Keep it moving, moving, moving. For most of our folks, they find it more intriguing, more interesting. It increases their enthusiasm. So keep the task moving. When you have people just standing around, and this is a word I'm going to be using, waiting, which by the way is a very vulgar word, the word wait. It implies that the person's time is of little meaning and value and it's under somebody else's control. Wait, wait, wait. So we need to minimize waiting because many of the people who we support do not do a very good job at waiting. So we want the task to be moving, moving, moving. There is a challenge with this. In order to keep the task moving, in order to have a high level of engagement for the people we support, there's somebody else who needs a high level of engagement. Who is that? It's us. And that's the biggest challenge. I mean, it's easier for us if we keep our expenditure of effort low. It's much easier for us to sort of move more slowly than keep it up and going. But it makes the task more interesting, and it more likely encourages the individuals to stay with the task rather than losing their attention to it. Pacing a task is individually determined. So yes, we want it to go, but that's in relationship to the individual. It's interesting. I spend a lot of time on job coaching sites, sheltered employment programs, places where people are engaged in work. And it's very interesting watching many people with intellectual disabilities when they work. It's like this. You ever seen that? And it's that pace, that slow pace. I've come to a conclusion. In the vast majority of cases, that's not a function of their mental retardation. Because if you watch that same person eating, You watch them engage in a task of preference, something they really enjoy. Man, they're out there doing it, and they're doing all this stuff, you know. But then you watch them at work, you know, and they're raking. You ever seen them rake? It's like this. But what is the expectation for raking? You know, normally, you know, you rake, got to be productive, productive, productive. And part of that is that learned behavior. We've grown to accept people moving at these very slow paces and have written them off because of their mental retardation. And my response is we've got to expect people to move, 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 move. And there's a name for it in employment. It's called work hardening. You know, got to move, 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 move. And make the learning relevant. Teach activities, not skills. That's real important. It's a lot different than what we used to do. Teach activities, not skills. Let's take a look at what this means. It's the difference between teaching somebody a palmer grasp versus throwing a softball. What I really want to do is get the individual involved in the task to value it, a task that has meaning. And when they're involved in that task, it hopefully will have a functional outcome. Let me give you the definition of functional outcome. What new skill and ability is the person acquiring as a result of engaging in the activity? Let's do it again. Actually, 2 more times. Functional outcome. What new skill and ability is the person acquiring as a result of engaging in the activity? What new skill and ability is the person acquiring as a result of engaging in the activity? Well, the activity is throwing a softball. I can have 4 different people throwing a softball and have 4 different functional outcomes. For one person, the functional outcome may be learning to let go of an object in their hand. You know, there's some people who you support, you can put an object in their hand and they don't understand how to release. For some people, it may be they have a limited range of motion. And by throwing the softball, I'm giving them an opportunity to extend their arm to the fullest extent possible. For somebody else, it may be they have very poor muscle strength in their arm, and I'm helping them improve their strength. So we can have several individuals engaged in the same activity, but identify individualized functional outcomes for them. That's what we need to be doing. We're not just having them engage in that particular skill, like palmer grasp or letting go or moving your arm, because I could have someone just do this, would have no meaning, right? But throwing a softball, that has meaning. That has meaning. It's sort of the difference between physical therapists used to give people rolling pins, and they'd have range of motion activity, and they'd give them a rolling pin, and they'd go across the table like this. You know what was under the rolling pin? Nothing. It was just an activity to go back and forth on the table in order to engage in extension. In my response, we need to be teaching people activities in a context of meaning. And yes, they should have functional outcomes associated with them. I can give you another quick example, is that vacuuming the floor may have many functional outcomes. One could be an improved palmer grasp. Could I teach somebody to improve their ambulation by vacuuming the floor? Of course, yeah. Matter of fact, vacuuming is a pretty good activity to do to help somebody improve their ambulation because they can depend upon the vacuum cleaner a little bit. Can I teach somebody a 3-part instruction? Absolutely. Bob, can you take the vacuum cleaner out of the closet, plug it in, and turn it on? Sure. Can I teach the concept of stop with a vacuum cleaner? Of course. Bob, stop now. Good. Now let's vacuum over there, Bob. Okay, he does it for a while. That's good. Good, Bob, stop. Is it important that people are able to respond to the word stop? It may only save their life.